Now it's time for the main event, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce you to Alastair McCulloch and Pete Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for two of Scotland's finest fiddlers, Alastair and Pete. There he is. Playing, of course, the Burns Gregg fiddle and Neil Gow's fiddle. We'll hand you over to the gents. They can do their own explanations, their own chatting, and I'll hand you over to them. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. You're taller than me, that's me. Is that okay? Try that. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Good evening. We can do better than that. Good evening. How are you all doing tonight? Excellent. Well, it's wonderful to see such a wonderful audience here in this beautiful church. This particular concert has been about 3 years in the making, from Fraser's first idea of putting this event on. It's been an amazing amount of work, and I think special thanks to Fraser for pulling all this together, because it's really a unique occasion. Pete and I have only ever done the Twa Fiddles on 2 occasions before, once in the Gaiety Theatre in Ayr, I think back in about 2019, and at the Scottish Parliament in 2019. So it's great to be side by side with my pal Pete tonight. So I'm going to play a few tunes now just by way of an introduction to this particular fiddle. Now, the Gregg fiddle is owned by the National Trust for Scotland, and we're very grateful and indebted to the National Trust for allowing me to play it. I'm very, very honoured. I've had the chance to play this instrument many times over the past 20 years. I know it well, and it's a real honour. The instrument was discovered about 30 years ago in bits, and it was rebuilt and given us a first phase of restoration. Then the National Trust took ownership of it, and since then it's been lovingly restored to its original Baroque setting. So as you can see, it's a very ornate instrument. The dimensions are very different from a standard violin, so it's quite a challenge to play it in tune because it's got a very short neck. And the etchings and decorations on the instrument were painted on at some point, probably not part of the original the fiddle. So it was probably made in Ayrshire, probably around about 1760, 70, round about that time in history. So I'm going to play a couple of tunes now, both by Robert Burns. The first, unsurprisingly for Burns, named after a female who he admired, and she was the daughter of Jim Morrison from Mauchline. So it's the lovely Mary Morrison, followed by a song which I'm sure many of you will have heard, and when he admired young Anio in the cornfields, so Corn Rigs.
So the Greg fiddle. This is the Neil Gow fiddle, or one of. Neil had many fiddles, like most fiddlers, but this particular one was his certainly around the time Burns visited Dunkeld, so the 1780s, and this was his favourite fiddle till the end of his life. It was made probably in Austria or northern Italy, and it's based on the design by a chap called Gasparo Bertolotti, who was one of the top fiddle makers in the 1600s, so we're going back a long time. And the chap who made this obviously was inspired by Gasparo, and that's when this was made, so early 1700s. When I say he copied, it's not a deliberate attempt to defraud people, it's just that he used the inspiration from the original maker, Gasparo. And it currently now belongs to the Thomson family, and Stuart and Andonella are here tonight, the owners, so I better not drop it. It's a lovely, lovely instrument. I first came across it when their father, I think my mic's cutting in and out. Hello? It's probably a dead battery, Fraser, is it?
Try that. You just missed this cable.
Testing, as well. Aye, what was I saying? Anyway, this old fiddle belonged to Neil Gowan. Then it eventually ended up in the hands of Lindsay Thompson, Stuart's father. Lindsay got in touch with me 15 years ago and said, I've got something you might like to see in the house. And I thought, I wonder if it's that old fiddle, because I knew the rumours about this Italian fiddle. Anyway, it was, and they very kindly let me borrow it now and again. And it's good for the fiddle too, a bit of exercise. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to play a tune from one of the Gow collections. Its proper title is The Royal Caledonian Hunt's Delight, but Robert Burns used this for his song Ye Banks and Braes. And then I'll go into another wee ditty which you'll recognise.
Thanks very much. This fiddle was played by and owned by William Gregg, who was a dance master at the Bachelors Club in Bolton. I'm sure many of you have been to the Bachelors Club. And a young Burns attended the dance classes on a fairly regular basis, strictly against his father's better judgment, apparently to brush up on his manners. But knowing Burns, he probably had other ideas in mind. But he without question danced to this very instrument, and there's every chance, given that we know he played the fiddle, that he had his hands on the fiddle as well for a few tunes. So we thought it would be appropriate to play a very famous reel from the 18th century, a great tune, Bolton Lodge.
day that Robert Burns met Neil Gow, and that was 1787, when Burns was having his Highland tour. One of the things he wanted to do was to go to Dunkeld and meet Neil Gow, which he did. And they must have exchanged lots of verses and blethers and tunes. And Burns went away with a couple of melodies which he used for his songs. One was a tune called Major Graham of Inchbrakie, and one was a tune called Lamentation for James Murray, Esquire of Abercairnie. Both of whom, these gentlemen were both great friends and benefactors of Neil Gow, so Burns liked the tunes. So the first melody he used for My Love Is Like a Red, Red Rose, and the second he used for a song called Where Braving Angry Winter Storms. But we'll begin with the melody, which is probably the best Kent melody for My Love Is Like a Red, Red Rose.
Thank you very much. Great tunes. These tunes are timeless. They really are. I mean, that particular tune, the Mindful James Murray of Abercairn, that's one of my all-time favourite fiddle tunes. Played it for 40 odd years, and you still learn things about it. So.
I actually played it last week at the funeral of Bill Murray of Abercairn, the 13th in line from the chap for whom it was composed. It's quite a touching history.
Well, we hope you're in good voice, because we've got a medley now of well-known Burns songs, and we've put them all together for you. So we're going to start with one of the most famous, Aphon Kiss, and then we'll go from there to one of my own personal favourite Burns songs, Of All the Years the Wind Can Blaw. But we're going to also play the original setting of that tune, which is called Admiral Gordon Strathspey, which is composed by William Marshall of Fochabers, who's another great fiddle composer of the 18th century. So we'll go from there to Rattlin' Roarin' Willie, it's hard to say that, Rattlin' Roarin' Willie, followed by The Deals of All the Excisemen, which you've already heard this evening, and we'll finish up with Duncan Gray and My Love She's But a Lassie Yet. So please help us out, sing along.
Yeah, and we're aware of the time, so we'll play them quick. said Burns and Gow met in Dunkeld and then crossed the river to the wee village of Inver where Neil Gow lived in 1787. And when Burns was leaving, he must have said to Mr. Gow, look, if ever you're down in Dumfries where I live, you must come and say hello. And I think that actually did happen. On the wall of the cottage where Neil Gow lived, the cottage still stands and it's still a house, but there's a plaque. On the plaque there's a verse which says, "Nae fabled wizards wand I trow had e'er the magic air to go when wi' a wave he draws his bow across his wondrous fiddle." And then it says Robert Burns, and it took me years to find the whole poem, but I did, and it's called "To Mr. Gow Visiting Dumfries," and beneath the title in the book it says "Tune Tullach Gorham." In other words, if you want to sing it, you have to use the tune Tullach Gorham. Tullach Hill, Gorham Blue, so Tullach Gorham, the Blue Hill. We're going to play the tune that is recommended for the poem, but I'm not going to sing it, I'll just give you the poem. All 49 verses, so. Tullach Gorham? Thrice welcome, King Orant and Reel. What is the bard to Scotia Leal? We're with a single, sick a chiel and sick a glorious fiddle. 'Tis but a weary whirl at best, waff and weary, often dreary. 'Tis but a weary whirl at best, a waff and weary whittle. 'Tis but a weary whirl at best, gang off the south or east or west. But we will never make protest when near you on your fiddle. Let prosy parsons pray and preach, and wise professors try to teach secrets far beyond their reach as Stradivarius fiddle. We'll leave them to themselves to read things, say vexing and perplexing. We'll leave them to themselves to read life's cabalistic riddle. We'll leave them to themselves to read, to spin their scheme and mark their creed. Come, screw your pin and gies us creed frae your unrivalled fiddle. In brisk Strathspey or plaintive air, what rival can be you compare? What would think a Hanko here would thus transform a fiddle? Sick fays and fairies come and dance, lightly tripping, hobbies sipping. Sick fays and fairies come and dance, their maester in the middle. Sick fays and fairies come and dance, and gently glide and spryly prance, and new retreat, and new advance when he strikes up his fiddle. They fabled wizards wand I trow, and ere the magic e'er go, when wi' a wave he draws his bow across his wondrous fiddle. It's a long poem, isn't it? What's happened? Yeah, what are the notes of lyre or lute? Pleasant, wheezy, slim and sleazy. What are the notes of lyre or lute? Inconsequential diddle. What are the notes of lyre or lute? Pipes, piano, fife or flute. We are that you can execute and wheedle through your fiddle. What doesn't a joy to hear the ring o' ilka bonny lilting spring that ye frae recollection bring and wheedle through your fiddle. The sum that winna praises gie a soulless clod mun surely be a chiel should never hate a day that half like you can fiddle.
Thank you very much. As you can probably see, one of the greatest challenges playing the Greg fiddle is keeping it in tune for any more than 3 or 4 minutes at a time. But that's part of the charm and part of the delight of playing it. So it really stays in tune for, as I said, 5 minutes. So it's doing well tonight so far. And I did also snap a string during the sound check, so keep everything crossed to get through to the end without any broken strings. Thankfully, we did have a few spares. We're now going to play a tune written by Nathaniel Gow, 4th son of Neil, and a very cultured musician, very famous musician of the period. He also played the trumpet and the cello, had a music publishing business in Edinburgh. And this is possibly his most famous work, and it's dedicated to a place in Ayrshire by the name of Coilsfield House. Now, Coilsfield House is not too far from the town or the village of Coilton, and I passed it last year when I was walking the Riviera Way and took a bit of time to have a wee look round. You can more or less just see the foundations of the house now. It was burnt down to a ruin in the 1960s, but it's the home, or was the home, of the Earl of Eglinton, and the house belonged to the Montgomery family for many years. So this is a particular favourite slow air of mine, and I hope you like it. Caulfield House.
That's quite a lot of sad stuff, beautiful stuff, but we're going to play a quick, cheery couple of tunes just to lift the atmosphere, and then we'll plunge you back into the depths of despair. So we've been playing tunes and verses from a long time ago, but it's important to remember it's a living tradition. You know, poetry and music. And we thought we're nearly at the end of our performance, we thought we'd put in something more modern. And I'd like to give you a very short, well, quite short, poem by a late friend of mine, Lionel McClelland. A lot of you might have known Lionel. He was a lovely guy, died about 10 years ago, but he wrote some great verses, and he wrote this lovely ditty, simply called The Craw. He was inspired having sat having a cup of tea in the lay-by one day in the A9. It was a dreary day, grey and windy, and the only thing he saw, apart from the cars whizzing by, was a crow, a solitary crow, sitting on a fence, and he started thinking, poor old crow, what's going through his head? And he came up with this poem, The Craw. I'm just a craw, a common craw, I'm no well respected. My status doesn't bother me, but whiles I get dejected, because wifeys chase me and Wainstor stains, I'm shunned by yin and all, but I canna help the way I am, I'm just a common crow. The woodpecker and oyster catcher hae respected trades. Hawks and harriers search and kill, indeed lay lichtnin raids, but I'm no agile in the air or clever with my claw. I'm sort of nature's scaffy man, I'm just a common crow. In fine regalia, peacocks strut with stately gaits with pride, and the flashy-suited magpie's just a con man on the side. But I've nae need for fancy clays, I kenna I'm na braw. Nae shiny things or stolen rings, I'm just an honest crow. I canna sing a symphony like the lavrock in the morn, nor busk like tits and finches day for monkey nuts and corn. My voice is like a roosty fowl, you'll hear me caw, caw, caw. I canna dance to save myself, I'm just a thowless crow. Some folk say I herald death, that hooded reaper grim. But I'm no supernatural, I merely follow him. I'm like the Undertaker, and I wear the black and all, to mark respect for them that's deed, an ordinary crow. I haven't got an upper house, a lower house or chambers. There's no democracy for me or non-elected members. I haven't got a say in things, I dinna mak the law, I just clean up the mess they mak. I'm just an honest crow. I bide up in the branches where I feel the wind and rain. I've had my share of hunger and I've had my share of pain. I feel the chill in winter when the icy breezes blow. I'm no without my feelings, I'm just a poor old crow. So if you see me, spare a thought on me and them like me that weren't born just bricht enough to choose the work they do. I didn't choose the way I am, I drew the shortest straw. I've just accepted nature's law. I'm just a common crow. Lionel McClelland. So in a minute we'll play a Strathspey called Sir Robert and Lady Smith. Lovely couple that lived in Dunkeld. And before that we're going to play a slow air by Ali here. The reason I gave you that poem is so you could tune the fiddle.
Yes, thank you.
Should have been a longer poem, eh?
Well, back in 2020, just immediately before the pandemic, we took the Greg Fiddle to the USA for a 3-week trip to celebrate 20 years of the National Trust for Scotland's US Foundation. So it was an amazing trip. Thanks very much to the Scottish Government for funding it. we visited New York and Chicago, Boston, Washington, Los Angeles and various other places, and played a whole lot of events. And one of the most bizarre was playing at the BAFTA USA Burn Supper in Santa Monica, which is 8 hours behind the UK. So my pals were having their breakfast, and in Scotland turned on the telly, and I'm standing there in Los Angeles playing this fiddle. And most bizarrely of all, I had to do a duet at the end of the night for Old Lang Syne with a Scottish singer called Lulu. Who had maybe had just one or two too many, shall we say. But anyway, when I got home, I composed this piece of music. By this time, we were in the first lockdown, so I donated the naming rights of the tune to the National Trust. So the recipient was a lovely lady in Philadelphia, and she named this piece of music after her late husband. So hope you like it. It's called Bruce Robert Burton.
Thanks very much. We're going to finish now. It's been a lovely night. It's a lovely location. It's lovely to see so many people out, and it's a fabulous event. Fraser, thanks so much for all your efforts. It was really, really lovely night. Neil Gow was married twice during his lifetime. Both wives are called Margaret. His first wife bore all his children. She died in her 50s, and a couple of years later, Neil found another Margaret Urquhart from Perth, and she was his faithful companion, and she died in 1805, 2 years before Neil himself. So in 1805, he composed the tune which was the first thing that got me interested in Neil Gow's music, and it was Neil Gow's lament for the death of his second wife. And it seems very, very likely that he composed that tune on this fiddle. So it's been great playing with Ali. He's no bad. And I'm sure he'd say the same about me. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll leave you with a nice, cheery tune. Neil Gow's lament for the death of his second wife.
What can I say? Wow. We'll do one more, gents, if you get time. If you get time. If you clap loud enough.
Thanks very much, Fraser. And special thanks to all of you folks for coming along tonight. It's been a really special occasion, and this one will last a long time in the memory.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a real pleasure to work with Pete again. I mean, Pete and I were buddies and teaching colleagues at the Conservatoire before Pete retired. So, but we don't get the chance to play together too often, so it's been fantastic to play with Pete again tonight.
So we'll finish, for a second time, we'll finish with, well, I'm aware that people have got trains to catch and stuff, so we'll do a quick whisky set. What better way to finish a night than with a dram? So we're going to do Farewell to Whisky, Welcome Whisky Back Again, Highland Whisky, and then a final sing-along to send you on your way.
Take it away, Maestro.
Once each.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Pete Clark and Alastair McCulloch. It's a wee bit smaller. So just before you go, ladies and gentlemen, I'll make it quick. First of all, again, wow, absolutely fantastic. The guys are amazing. It's really great to hear such great musicians at the top of their game and playing these instruments. You know, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for me, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. As Alastair said, it's been 3 years in the making, and when I was asked what I wanted to do, it was basically one thing I wanted. I didn't care if anyone else was going to turn up. As it happens, about 350 of you did, so thank you so much to everyone that's came out tonight and obviously listened to these two amazing guys and these fiddles. So before their heads get too big, I'll go into the next things to say thanks. They're not bad, they're not bad. So the first thing is St Margaret's Church. Please put your hands together for obviously, not the church itself, but the people who are here who always opened up and the heating, I've gone again, the heating, I sound like that comedian that was cutting the mics out every time. Yeah. You never think you had used one of these before, did you? It's 40 years of gigging and still can't make a microphone work. Anyway, so the St Margaret's Church elders and the people who are always involved in running the church, even the sound, Lindsay up there and the video, doing great, mate. And obviously lights. So put your hands together for them, giving a really great help and helping us with our practices as well. There's one person that I should have mentioned earlier on. Now, you've seen the posters that were kicking about and they were advertising the internet and the sun outside and things. There's a guy, did Dougie make it tonight? Dougie Kelso, is he here? Daddy, yes, Dougie. Sorry, you were hiding behind my dad. So Dougie Kelso did an amazing amount of work and put up with me as well, getting the poster organised. Absolutely fantastic, and it's a real work of art, and we absolutely love it. And we're going to steal it along with the logo as well, and we're going to use it for other things. So I hope you don't mind. Great work, thanks Dougie, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Last but not least, not last, but Skill Kids, I know they're away, but really fantastic, absolutely amazing. Really, really delighted that they managed to make it. Well done to Leslie, and obviously our Bob Myra there for playing and helping us out. Band choir, well done guys, thanks for stepping up and singing us a couple of songs, really enjoyed it, and thanks again for the support as always. The band, well done. And last but not least, we have another couple more to do. First of all, we'd like to thank and welcome the Lord Lieutenant, Owen MacDonald, for coming along this evening. Thank you very much for coming. And of course, the Provost, Anthony Dixon, of North Ayrshire Council, thanks for coming as well. And again, the two others, we mentioned them earlier on, but without tonight, this would never have happened. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, thank you so much for the work. And Chris Waddle as well, for National Trust for Scotland, for the Greg Fiddle. That's all to be said, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing, we run club nights once a month. You don't have to be a Burns Club member, you can come along at any time, once a month, usually at the end of the month, after last Thursday. But check our website, you'll see it's on there, and everyone is welcome. This time it's Marie Shelvin and it's the Dorai Roys, that's what it is that we're doing the talk on. So you're more than welcome, everyone's welcome to come. Please come along. It's in Taris, or the volunteer arms, just that way. I'm trying to think where I'm going, round the corner there. So, without any further ado, we'll let you go. Time's getting on, and well, I've had a great night. Before we go, we have a small presentation to give to the Lord Lieutenant and Mr. and Mrs. Thompson. Thank you so much. On the train. Just don't get caught. It wasn't my idea. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for coming. I've thoroughly enjoyed the concert. I hope you have too. And yeah, good night, God bless, and a safe journey home when you go. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.